Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Glory Hunter. Today we return on the 1st of December, so beginning of a new month. And in the previous episode we tried to adjust the sliders slightly and also the game speed just to try and make it a little bit more challenging and a little bit more competitive. We obviously struggled towards the end of the episode with that 6-0 defeat away in Milan and then the 4-4 draw with Arsenal. So it's definitely added more goals, but we'll see how we get on today. We're going to jump straight into this first game against Wolves here. I'm still not sure if we've got the sliders set up correctly. We're still sort of experimenting, but let's jump into this first game. It's also my first one of the day, so I have to take that into consideration. It's Wolves away at Molineux. So I'm genuinely interested to see how we get on in today's episode. We had those two games towards the end of the previous one, where obviously we got absolutely battered away in Milan. But even like passing the ball around here, you can see how much slower the game is, which is what we've obviously set it as. We've got the game pace on slower, but we conceded 10 goals in our last 4. I mean, we scored 4 against Arsenal as well, and scoring goals has never really been the issue. It's just whether we can keep them out at the other end as Pedri slams it into the top corner. Lovely patient build-up from us. And that is kind of what we wanted with the slower game mechanics. We go a goal up inside 6 minutes, but as I say, it's whether we can keep them out at the other end, which we haven't been able to do in the last 2. We've obviously not just adjusted the game speed, but the actual sliders as well. So the AI should, in theory, be a lot better. They're passing, they're shooting, everything. I mean, it's quite hard to make them defend better, as Ramsdale pushes that effort behind, because you can't actually make them better defensively. You can just affect their defensive line and how high they are. And I mean, you can do the press and stuff, but if you put the press too high, then it's just really easy to play around them, as Ramsdale is forced into another early save here. Here we come again though. Reece James in space once again. Reece into the penalty area, lifts it into Osimhen, surely for 2. And we do get our second. Victor Osimhen once again scoring. He's now scored in every single Premier League game, and I believe his run is extended to 14. Chilwell into Osimhen, lots of space. Kai Havertz drifting infield, which leaves space out wide for Reece. You see, I think Chile in the middle to slam it home. And I'm not too sure what has happened in the heart of the Wolves defence there, as no one picked up Chile at the back stick. 3-0, easiest goal we've scored all season. Free kick for Wolves in the 94th minute, and I imagine that will be that. A very comfortable win away at Molineux. And that was a lot easier than I thought it would be. Wolves were so open, and we got through them way too easily. Victor Osimhen continued his goal-scoring run. It's now 14 in a row for the Nigerian. Well, after that comfortable 2-0 win away at Molineux, we return home back to Stamford Bridge to take on Marco Silva's Fulham, who are currently sat in the relegation zone. Just played host to Manchester City themselves, so a couple of unfavourable fixtures for them. Well, Fulham playing around with the ball at the back. Poor clearance from the keeper. Kai Havertz should and does win the header, and he can get it back here. Kai Havertz, oh, it's a brilliant finish. It's been a quiet opening 20 minutes, but a mistake at the back from Fulham. And the German Kai Havertz punishes them. Last man can't step up, and it's a brilliantly whipped finish into that far corner. Not going to adjust the sliders or anything yet. These are the sort of games that I would expect to win. Fulham at home and Wolves away. But obviously, as Reece James is in behind, Reece James pegs it back to Kai for a brilliant second. These are the games I would expect to win. We've got some bigger ones coming up. We'll have United towards the end of the episode. And obviously, the Milan and Arsenal games in the previous one prove that we're not going to win every single game, but we know how important form is in career mode. And we've been on such great form. We don't really look like stopping. I have to say, with Kai Havertz linking up with Reece James there for the second goal, in this formation we kind of have our left winger stays wide and plays as like a natural winger, whereas Kai Havertz likes to kind of drift central next to Osimhen. So it does open up a huge amount of space for Reece James, more than Chilwell down the other side. James always seems to find space down that side. They may go short with it. No, the shot comes in, and what a shot it is. Aaron Ramsdale didn't move, and well, with the shot error down for the CPU, they're good at free kicks anyway. That is a belter. You can see how open this game is. Fulham looking for an equaliser, and here is the goal scorer. Into the area, drilled to the back post, and Fulham do have their goal. Patrick Wimmer at the back stick, and the Austrian couldn't really miss and pulls Fulham level. Or Levi doesn't get there. Chance for Fulham here with men over. It's Kyle Jorge, who's caused us issues all game long. Pulled back into the middle, and what a turnaround from Fulham. Well, it's the number 10, Kyle Jorge, who scored the first and has assisted the second and third. He's been a real thorn in our side today. Good finish from Vrancic, I think. Ramsdale, no chance. And Fulham have completely turned this game on its head. Here's Osimhen round the corner to Fernandes. Great opportunity this. And he's got Kai Havertz in support for the hat-trick. Brilliant, unselfish play from Enzo Fernandez. Fafana in a bit of a muddle. Is Alan Varela. Good football from Fulham, I don't believe it. What a strike that is from Vrancic once again. Our unbeaten run is going to come to an end here, as Fulham come to the bridge and beat the league leaders. Fulham, who were in the relegation zone at the beginning of play. Kai Havertz with a hat-trick, but it's not enough for the Blues, who taste defeat for the first time in the Premier League this season. Lots to think about. You can't say these sliders don't make it entertaining. What a start it's been to the episode with that dramatic game against Fulham, London derby as well. And we now turn our attention to the final group game of the Champions League, where we know that if we match AC Milan's result, we will go through as group winners. We are, of course, already through to the last 16, but if we match Milan's result here, we will go through as group winners. We're at home to Basel. Milan are away at Benfica. Not an easy trip for them, but I would expect, hopefully, for us to bounce back after that disappointing defeat to Fulham. So we have made quite a few changes for this one, as we've got Manchester United away at Old Trafford coming up in just a few days' time on the weekend, which I'm much more focused about. If we make it through in second, I won't be disappointed, as Bertrand turns on the afterburners here. In behind the defence, still Bertrand, tight angle, but squeezes it home. And that is where Bertrand can be effective. He just absolutely rinsed the centre-back for pace. As I was saying though, we've got United on the weekend, and that is a much bigger game, having lost to Fulham in our previous Premier League game. So much more focused on that. I was going to say, if we finish in second in the group, I won't be that disappointed, because I always think in the Champions League, yes, it's lovely to finish as the group winner, but you're going to have to beat the rest if you're going to win the competition. So if we want to do that this year, we're going to have to beat the best teams in Europe. Here's Bertrand again, playing as more of an orthodox right winger. Oh, that might fall here. Sule. Brozovic, oh, big save by the keeper. As we mentioned in that previous game with Havertz playing a little bit more narrow, we've got Bertrand out there this time, as Benzema's header is well saved. And Bertrand is more of a natural right winger, so it'll be interesting to see if we get the same joy down the right-hand side as we have been with Havertz playing there. Now can we get one of the subs away? Hall through to Rashford. Can he finish it? Rounds the keeper and then squares it to Lewis Hall, who started off the move. And he is the man who finishes it off. Marcus Rashford shows some composure in the final third. And finally we get that second goal, and we will be progressing through to the last 16 as champions of the group. Well, it was a really comfortable display in the end, but a very professional display from Chelsea. 2-0 victory in match day 6 of the Champions League group stage. And we just couldn't find that second goal for so long until the two subs, Lewis Hall and Marcus Rashford, linked up. A really good display from us. Does mean that we top the group, and we'll go and find out who it is that we could potentially face in the last 16. So to round up then, guys, Milan did win at the Estadio de Luz by 4-1, which does mean, of course, that they will progress through in second place, just behind ourselves with 5 wins and that 1 defeat, which came to Milan at the San Siro. We will now find out who it is that we will potentially face before the round of 16 draw takes place. So, well, we could face TSG Hoffenheim, who actually beat PSG on match day 6 to leapfrog them and go into second place in Group G. We could play RB Salzburg. We knew that Atletico Madrid could not make it through. E is Inter Milan, so it could be another trip to the San Siro if we were to draw them. Now Leicester, I'm pretty sure we can't draw because they're an English side. I'm sure that you can't face sides from the same country as yourself in the last 16 at least, so we can't draw Leicester, who just sneak through. Same applies to Manchester City, who finished second in Group C. Ajax finished second in Group B behind Real Madrid, and for Group A it is Manchester United. So 3 of the teams we can't face will either be one of Ajax, Inter, Salzburg or Hoffenheim. And just a quick note in the Premier League, this is how the table currently stands. You can see our gap at the top now cut to 7 points, ahead of Manchester United, who have leapfrogged City, who have lost 4 games already to start off the season, the defending champions. So Manchester United leapfrogging their Manchester rivals, and we face them next to Old Trafford in a huge game. We need to bounce back after that Fulham defeat. And if we lose, it really could blow the title race wide open. Alright then, guys, so we have arrived at Old Trafford, and I cannot emphasise how big of a game this is. We're just approaching the halfway season in the Premier League. And if Manchester United win this, you would say they may just about have the momentum as we look to close out the busy December Christmas period. Our form's been a little bit hit or miss, and I want to show you the Manchester United lineup here, as there's a couple of interesting names. So here is the United team. As I mentioned, Trent Alexander-Arnold lining up at right back, and Lorenzo Pellegrini with the captain's armband, of course, was our captain when we were at Roma. Harry Kane also on the Manchester United bench, the man that we left out of the England starting 11 for our World Cup victory. I can already see Lorenzo scoring like a last minute winner and like running down the touchline to celebrate in front of me. I've mentioned it before about how cool it would be if there was more stuff like that in the game. Like, I know on Next Gen there's like some cooler celebrations if you score like a last minute winner, but it'd be so cool to see stuff like that. As here's Kai Havertz into a little bit of space, but too much power on his strike. Here's Kai Havertz, good at using his body, rolls it into Enzo. Now Osimhen hits it first time and took De Gea by surprise. Enzo will whip the corner in from the right, looking for Tony Rudiger, who got up really well and forced another save out of David De Gea, with intercepted by Tony Rudiger. And he's gone again here, Tony. Squares it to Osimhen, finish it. Oh, what? I can't believe Vic's not tapped that in. I was spamming shoot and he's just not finished it. What a run by Tony Rudiger. And Victor Osimhen just didn't shoot. Here come United again. Brian Brobby looking to turn Levi. Shot comes in from range. And Aaron Ramsdale forced into his first save of the game. Florian Wirtz on the corner. Dangerous ball in. And I think it was Casale with the header, which again Ramsdale had to parry behind. Corner played short this time. Now to the edge of the box. Worked brilliantly inside, and Ramsdale with another huge save. Manchester United now ramping up the pressure. Another shot comes in, deflected, and Ramsdale gathers. What a crazy first half here at Old Trafford. Well, it was 0-0 at the break, and to be honest, if you'd given me that before the game, I probably would have taken it. With our form a little bit shaky. Does well. And now the ball's lifted in. What a save, Ramsdale. And Anthony somehow misses the goal on the second attempt. The flag was up. Oh, Wesley nearly caught in possession there. We need to be careful playing out from the back. Levi, brilliant ball into Elise. Been quiet today, not seen much of him. He will get the return ball here. Michael Elise into the area. Pegs it back for Osimhen. And Victor finds the net again after drawing a blank against Fulham. Huge goal. And Chelsea lead in this big game in the title race. We said Elise had been quiet, but he ghosts in behind Trent, who's sleeping. And that is a huge, huge goal for my Chelsea team. Osimhen's 22nd of the season. As United look to come forward again, Levi doesn't get there. Chance for the Reds, and what a save from Aaron Ramsdale. Osimhen, lovely hold-up play, and now it's opened up. Enzo through the gap to Osimhen. Onto his right peg and buries it for Chelsea. Game, set and match. Victor Osimhen with his 23rd league goal of the season. We're into stoppage time here at Old Trafford. And it looks as if we will hold on for the 2-0 victory. Bertrand will try his luck. Cleared by Pellegrini, but there is the whistle. What a brilliant result for Chelsea, especially after that defeat to Fulham in our previous game. And we do look like the front runners for the title. We've got both Manchester clubs to come in the next episode. That is going to be a huge one. If we can win both of them, I don't see anyone stopping us. We've got one more game to close out the episode, and it's a tough one away at Selhurst Park. So then guys, before we get into this game at Selhurst Park, it's actually come earlier than I thought. The round of 16 draw has been made, and Chelsea will be taking on it's the Germans, it's Hoffenheim. They were very, very solid when we played them when we were in Germany with Leverkusen, got into the Champions League, and they made it through in dramatic fashion, knocking out PSG from the group phase. You can see the full draw there, some big games. Man City against Juve, Milan against Barcelona. Our former team Leverkusen will face Ajax. United against Real, Inter v Bayern. Another of our former sides, Roma, taking on Leicester. Salzburg v Dortmund, and Hoffenheim against Chelsea. I definitely fancy us to get through that. We'll go and have a look when the fixtures fall. So the first leg, which we will be away in Germany for, falls on the 22nd of February, with the return fixture coming just under a month later on the 15th of March, where we will, of course, play host to Hoffenheim. I definitely fancy our chances of getting through that and making it to the quarterfinals. We have to make a stronger push for the Champions League this year. It's going to be a huge tie, but I do make us favourites for it. But of course, we've got a long way until we get there, so let's close out this episode with this final fixture at home. It's actually at home to Crystal Palace, not at Selhurst Park, where I expect us to pick up another 3 points. Back out at Stamford Bridge then, and after that big win against Manchester United, we have to make sure we close out this episode with a victory as well. No good winning those games and losing to the likes of Fulham and Palace. Huge game at the Bridge. Looking for the 3 points. Palace having quite a good season themselves, and N'Golo Kante, their captain, a familiar face at Stamford Bridge. Come on the Blues, let's get the 3 points. Pedri, back to Osimhen, takes it in his stride and he's in behind the Palace defence. Victor Osimhen, never in doubt. This man just does not miss. Looking to break Erling Haaland's record, which is actually being set this year in real life. Currently on 36 with a game to play. Victor Osimhen already on 24. I would love for Vic to get to 40. That's kind of like the benchmark. I've only ever done it once before with a striker, and that was Dominic Calvert-Lewin in a Sheffield United save I had a couple of years ago. And Osimhen's in there again and just scores again. The man just cannot stop scoring. Looking to reach 40 in the league. Man, this cross from Reece James, he's been so good down that right-hand side. And as I mentioned earlier on in the episode, with Havertz playing slightly more inside, it just opens so much space for the English fullback. What an angle that is for Osimhen's header. Reece James with the ball in. Osimhen has 2 already. Oh, Osimhen looks in the mood today. Victor is in the mood. Here's Kai Havertz. Little back heel to Reece. Dinks it into Osimhen, who slams it home for his 3rd. A 27-minute hat-trick for the Nigerian. And, I mean, if I don't get him to 40, I've completely bottled it. He's at 26 before the halfway stage. Victor Osimhen is just the most prolific man I've ever used. What a little assist from James. And Victor slams it home. James down the right-hand side, going on a run. Still Reece James. Still not really much support, but Elise, what a run from Reece James. Elise gets on the score sheet, doesn't get many. Has got lots of assists this season, but of course the one that he does score in comes against his former team. Reece James with a hat-trick of assists as well from right wing back. Pedri, Havertz, Osimhen, lovely build-up. Oh, we're just on flames at the moment. Osimhen, it's 4 for Victor and 5 for Chelsea. Oh, this is getting bad for Palace now. Havertz through the gap to Osimhen. Victor Osimhen, the man just doesn't stop. It's 6 and he's one off a double hat-trick. We haven't had a game like this where we've been so ruthless for quite a while. We had a few in Germany at Leverkusen, and here goes Osimhen again. Oh, it's outrageous. Victor Osimhen with the double hat-trick, and that is the pick of the bunch. What a goal from Victor. Him and Havertz have such a good connection, and oh, that is just footballing beauty from Osimhen. The Di Canio scissor, the keeper's dive. What a little lob from Victor Osimhen. He has 6. So I've actually just looked it up as well, and no one's ever scored a double hat-trick in the Premier League. There's been 5 players who have scored 5 in a single game, and he joins a pretty illustrious list which includes Andy Cole, Alan Shearer, Jermaine Defoe, Dimitar Berbatov, and most recently Sergio Aguero. Victor Osimhen becomes the first man to score 6 in a Premier League game. Space opening up here for Elise. He's got Victor Osimhen with him. Finds him as well, and it is 8-0 to Chelsea. Osimhen has 7 of them. This is ridiculous. Osimhen's on. Gets away from his man, surely not. Osimhen this time saved. That'll probably do it for Victor tonight. We'll give him his standing ovation that he deserves. He was looking pretty tired out there as well. We've got to think about the games ahead. As Havertz heads in for 9. And this is going back to our Bayer Leverkusen days. This is crazy, man. Bertrand moves into space, looks to send Rashford away for the 10th. Sets up Bertrand, and we've done it for 10. I didn't think we were going to get it, but in stoppage time, well, I mean, these sliders were meant to be harder, and we've definitely had more competitive games in this episode. I think I have enjoyed it being more competitive, but in this one, we have just blown Crystal Palace away, and there is the full-time whistle. What a ridiculous way to end the episode. As I mentioned, it has been more competitive. 7 goals from 8 attempts. The man just doesn't miss the goal. But what a way to close out the episode. And things are looking up for the remainder of the season. Just want to highlight Osimhen very, very quickly. In the 17 Premier League games that he's played, 30 goals already. I say if I don't get to 40, I've bottled it. At this rate, if we don't get to 50, we've bottled it. He has just been... I can't even put into words how amazing he's been. Like, Tammy was brilliant when we used him, but Osimhen just doesn't miss. Like, if you get him within 12 yards of the goal, he just does not miss. The man's already broken 2 Premier League records, and he looks as if he's not going to stop there. He's going to break the scoring record for one season, and that will make it 3 individual records already in his first season at the club. The 28-year-old in his prime just cannot be stopped. But that is where we will end the episode, guys. 10 points clear of Manchester United currently, but we have now got that 1L on the board. We won't be doing an invincible season. Fulham, of all teams, who are currently sat down in 17th place, the ones to beat us. But it's been a really productive episode. I feel like we've taken some big steps. I'm confident of getting through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. And really, that should be our main focus from here on out. We have to try and get far in that competition. And hopefully, we can complete the treble. That's it for today, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. And I will catch you in the next one very soon. Peace.